Assalamu alaikum, Sayyidi.
Alaikum salam.
On the reality of sacrifice and submission, Sayyidi, how do we know what Allah is truly asking us to sacrifice in our personal lives? And how do we differentiate between divine will and our own desires dressed as piety?
Yeah, through the muraqabah and muhasabah, that what Allah wants you to sacrifice is you have to go first through the obvious. It means if you don't know the obvious and you're trying to talk that you've already passed all of those obvious and now you're at the pinnacle of finding a needle in a haystack, that's not the reality. So means the understanding is important, why we want to point that out. That when I think I have to look for, the fine details, I probably didn't really understand the process, because that's going to take a different power and ability. And one whom has that power and that ability, they're given the power to focus. When that power comes, you know, so that question it wouldn't be coming. So somebody spiritually advanced, somebody strong in their tafakkur, when they make the tafakkur of finding details, Allah gives them a spiritual power in which to go and to find a detail, a source, an understanding. So that I don't think is what's being asked. So what's really needed to be understood is the basics. So it's not complicated and we don't need to make it complicated. Allah doesn't want anger, Allah doesn't want characters of envy and enmity and all this sort of obvious bad characters that 2 seconds you sit with people you see. Immediately they're angry at people, nobody looking, they push somebody. There are all sorts of crazy things that you hear about people and in associations. And why these associations are so important is because as soon as you go across to your relatives and associations of the people of zikr or at work, everybody going to push each other's buttons. And those become the obvious. Those whom are sincere they write them down, I get angry when this person starts to talk, I get very upset about this person, I'm jealous of this, I'm jealous of that, I have envy for this. When somebody's true to themselves and writes, these are my illnesses, and they're obvious, there's no fine tune. It's like, I'm actually really good, I gotta really find the specifics. That's not the case. So it's the obvious ones that take an immense amount of dedication to conquer. Because as soon as you say, I want to conquer anger, shaitan going to make everybody to anger you because he doesn't want you to reach, and Allah allows imtihan. So this becomes then a lifelong process and never letting it to go. How to submit, how to not be angry, and how to understand that everything in your life is by Allah's will. When your partner is not pleasant, it's Allah's will. So there's no need for people to email, all the complaints they want to complain, because it's like you're emailing Allah. Complaining for what? You don't want Him to bring out the gold within you? How will the gold come out if people don't aggravate? No, I don't want this person to aggravate me. So then you would rather strangers aggravate you. And that's an interesting type of test, because I guess some people have complained that they don't want someone they know aggravating them. Then the next email is, every time I go out in public somebody comes up and actually tries to attack me. I said, did you pray for your testing to change? Because usually the most merciful is testing within your home and environment. But when you don't like that, what you're actually asking is, test me with strangers and random people coming up and being aggressive, trying to bump you, trying to yell at you. You say, where did this person come from? Because Allah's will is coming. Nobody is going to avoid God's will. So then what do you complain about? So with this partner and this child and this is like this and they don't, there's no peace. Because maybe the character has not yet been clean, there's not been enough pounding, and you still a steak and Allah wants ground beef. So what is there in the end? And this is what the Wahhabis call tawheed. Because they want to know, how come you guys don't talk about tawheed? This is actually the highest levels of tawheed, is to submit to Allah's will. And 90% of the people want to complain, they want to complain to a shaykh about this and that. But why are you complaining? Because you're coming against tawheed. Even this one like this, the children like this, relatives like this, it comes all against tawheed. Because if you're a person in tariqah, you have a love for Prophet, you're doing tafakkur and contemplation, don't you believe Allah's hand is on your head? That not a single thing comes to you without His will. So then your muhasabah and accounting is, Ya Rabbi, this just keeps happening to me, grant me an understanding of your will, and it will come. Okay, so then submit, be patient. These characters, this anger you have, we want it out of you. And the greatest way to get anger out of somebody is keep angering them. Because why can't you control it? Then you wash, then you go make 2 rakahs of wudu, then you fail after 5 days, the clock starts again for 40 days. You fail after 20 days, clock starts again. It's not something easy, but complaining, it only makes the test harder. So alhamdulillah, these are the oceans of tawheed. When people say, oh well, they don't talk about the usul. The whole tariqah is usul, but they just don't understand the usul. When we understand and believe with this love, with this way, Allah's hand directly upon our heads. As a result, be patient, Allah's watching. فَوْدَ عَمْرٍ إِنَّ اللَّهَ إِنَّ اللَّهُ بَصِيرٌ بِالْعِبَادِ. For verily Allah sees my condition, and so whatever condition I'm in, He wants me right there until something is resolved. When my character is resolved, the conditions immediately begin to change, and that becomes the importance. When you work on yourself, everything is agitating you. They go into work and everybody is bothering them, because Allah wants something different in you. It's not the whole office they're all crazy, because they're just the actors in Allah's play. It's a video game, but it's your life is the video game. So everybody in that game is meant to aggravate you until you work on yourself, work on yourself, work on yourself, and one day the game changes and the surrounding is all peaceful because you're peaceful. And this is tawheed, this is the depth of the realities of Islam. So alhamdulillah, this is the immense ways of tariqah, this is the way of Sayyidina Muhammad.